Hey Rockers, Flashman here. Welcome to CGG TV. Today I'm here to talk about tarot reading, what it is, what it isn't, and how we can use it in our daily lives for visual literacy, exercising our intuition, and for connecting spiritually with ourselves or with our higher self. Now, tarot you've probably heard of before, and oracle, they're different, okay? Oracle cards stand alone, okay? So there are thousands of different oracle decks out there, and they've been made from the intuition of the creator. Tarot decks are part of a system. Anywhere you go in the world, just about, tarot cards, each tarot card means the same thing or has similar energies, even though the images are different and each artist puts in different ideas. So every time you get a new tarot deck, you're looking at each specific card separately, but you can always rely back on the energies, okay? But tarot decks, 78 cards in a deck, okay? Just about all the tarot decks you come across will be based on this one here. You see the back of it there and the images that look like this, okay? Now, these are the Rider-Waite tarot deck. All the other tarot decks in the world are based on these ones here. And all your textbooks, or most of your textbooks, will be based on the images in the Rider-Waite tarot deck. So if you're getting into tarot, that's something to remember when you're checking out online or whatever. The way to study, the common language, if you like, is from the Rider-Waite tarot deck. Now, cards in the tarot can have many different meanings depending on where they are in the spread, and there are thousands of different spreads out there. So, a spread is the way we lay out the cards, okay? So you might lay them out like this or like this, okay? Many different ways, okay? Probably the go-to tarot spread will be the Celtic Cross, which is this one down here, okay? And so most of your tarot readers, and you probably, if you take up tarot, that would be one of the first spreads you learn. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a tarot reading. It may resonate for you, it might not. And you'll understand a little bit more, hopefully, about what it is and what it isn't by what I say, okay? So we all have our little rituals. What I do is I shuffle the cards, okay, just till it feels right. And everything again in this is about intuition. When it feels right, I cut the deck 3 times, okay? And then I'm ready to go, okay? A lot of readers will tap the deck like this, okay? Now, our first card here, this is where you are now. This is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is the feminine expression of spirituality. So you'll see there that she's sitting with a blue veil behind her between those 2 columns, the black column and the white column. Okay, so the High Priestess is using her intuition to move between the unseen world and the world, the 3D world that we see. And you'll see she has the scriptures in her lap. So she's studying or investigating or looking at something to do with the esoteric world, the spiritual world, if you like. So when you get this card in your opening position, you might be looking at chakras or meditations or having a look, dabbling in something to do with esoteric matters, the occult world, okay? So that's our opening position here. Then in the Celtic Cross again, we have what's challenging you, okay, or what's brought this about, what's impacting this. And we have the Temperance card. Now the Temperance card is a card of angelic guidance, okay? We get this card when it's time to ask the angels for something. You'll see the angel here mixing these chemicals, trying to get it just right. It's actually mixing the spirituality, trying to find balance here. So when you get this card, it's a sign that you're coming into balance. It can also mean that you've come to a certain stage in your spiritual development where you need to ask the angels for advice to move beyond that angel, up the path behind. You see that? So you're asking for enlightenment. Now it's important to remember when you are communicating with angels is you must ask, okay? Ask and you shall receive. If you are sincere and your intention is there, angels don't offer you things, you must ask. But if you're sincere about it and your intention is pure, it will come to you. Okay. Now the next card in our in our Celtic cross is your conscious goal. So what are you aiming for? And you have here the Knight of Cups. So just like in a normal deck of cards we have hearts, diamonds, clubs, spades, well in the tarot we have cups, swords, pentacles and wands, and they all represent different things. So the cups represent emotions and spirituality, and this is the Knight of Cups, which is a court card. So knights in the tarot generally bring messages, okay, and this knight is bringing a message of love or emotional fulfillment. And because this is in your conscious goal position, perhaps you are looking for your knight in shining armour to make an offer to you, some kind of emotional connection, okay? And knights are generally sincere in what they do, okay, and the news they bring, okay? So Knight of Cups, this person also represents a water sign in astrology, because there are very close links between astrology and the tarot. And the cups represent the signs of Pisces, Cancer and Scorpio. So there could be someone of that star sign around you who you're interested in, or there's some kind of offer you want to make to them, or you're hoping they will make it to you. Now, in your unknown influence, okay, you have the Nine of Pentacles. So the pentacles in the tarot represent money, earthly things, career, material things, finances, that sort of thing. And you'll see this person standing alone in that field with their pentacles, quite abundant. And that bird on her hand can come and go as it pleases. So this person standing alone in this field is feeling quite independent, and that bird can come and go. She's good either way, okay? So there's an underlying energy around this whole reading, this whole spread that says you are independent, and that's having an impact on all the other energies around you, okay? Now, let's have a look at your recent past. So something which has happened in your past which is contributing to this story and the energies around you now. And you have the King of Swords. So in the tarot, the swords, the sword suit, represents thinking, clarity, analysis, communication, decisions. And this person is the king of decisions, the king of communications. So if you get this card in your recent past, perhaps there was a judge who has made a legal decision and it has brought you to where you are now, because the King of Swords quite often represents a judge or like a chief executive officer, someone like that who the buck stops with him, okay? He's very much a yes, no, black, white kind of a person, not much emotion. You'll have a look at that sword there, cold, hard steel. He doesn't deal with emotions, he deals with facts, just like a judge does. And so if this reading is resonating for you, in the recent past there would have been a legal decision come down, or a decision by some kind of chief executive, someone like that, which has had an impact on the energies playing out for you at the moment. Now, in your approaching energies, okay, so what's coming toward you? You have the Four of Pentacles. So we know that the Pentacles are all about money and careers, things like that. Now this is the Four of Pentacles, and look what's happening. Look at the body language of this person, holding on to these pentacles tightly, one tight to his chest, the other one stomping down on those pentacles, those coins with his feet, and he's got one on his head as well, and he's turning his back on the city. So when you get this card, perhaps there's an element of turning your back on the group or on the city or on the established way, and perhaps you're moving away to study. You'll see that pentacle on the top of this person's head. Perhaps you're holding yourself off from socialising for a while so you can save some money. And sometimes this is about holding back your emotions from someone, perhaps keeping secrets from the group. It's not a sinister card, but it is a card of saving money, turning your back on the group, just like this person is turning their back on the city here, taking his money and going. Sometimes you might be thinking of travelling, so saving up to go travelling, just like this person here, perhaps saving up to go further afield, okay? So our next card is what you're bringing to the situation. What talents are you bringing? What's your energy around you at the moment? You have the Hanged Man. Now, the Hanged Man is the card of Pisces generally, okay? And you'll see this person hanging upside down, waiting for this great idea to come to him. Now, he's not uncomfortable, he's waiting for something, and I bet many of us right now are waiting for something to occur, waiting to get going again, waiting for a change in perspective. And so if this is your reading, right now you're waiting for something to happen, perhaps waiting for some information, for a decision to come, which is going to move you further and give you that bright light, that great idea you have. But it is important, look, this person is not uncomfortable. This comes from one of those Nordic stories from the Norse gods, where I think it was Odin, as a punishment, was ordered to hang upside down for 9 days. And during hanging upside down, he saw the world differently. And that new perspective gave him advantages later on in his adventures and helped him win his battles and outsmart others. Okay, so a wonderful card there of waiting and patience. Now, your environment, the way you see the world, the way the world sees you. And you have the Nine of Cups. So you'll remember here that the Nine of Cups, or the cups, are about emotions. They're about spirituality sometimes. Now, this is the number 9. This is known as the wish fulfillment card. This person is sitting there, arms crossed, all his cups above him, feeling quite smug, feeling very satisfied with himself. So this card is about reaching a certain goal, a milestone. You haven't reached the 10 yet, which is the ultimate happiness, but you know you're well on the way, and this is a time for you to sit back and celebrate. Sometimes this can be a card of arrogance and being a little bit too comfortable, resting on your laurels perhaps before the work's done, but that'll usually come out in a specific personal reading to you and what you're picking up from it. But definitely a very happy card, and because this is in the challenge, in the position of how the world's seeing you, how you're seeing the world or your environment, people are seeing you as being pretty lucky and pretty abundant, or perhaps you're seeing yourself as abundant in the world. So, what are your hopes and fears is our next card. So, what are you hoping for, or perhaps what are you fearing, depending on what the card is, and this is the Page of Swords. So we know that the Page of Swords is about swords are about thinking, about analysis, about research, and about studying. So perhaps you're hoping to study something, but it's also a card of gossip, so you might be a little bit worried about secrets coming out, especially around this time of the Scorpio full moon coming up. Lots of things will be exposed. So there could be, again, study, gossip, almost internet spying, if you like. A lot of people will be interested in doing stuff online, basically. Okay, now this is a young person. He's only a page, and so he can be a bit of a smart aleck sometimes. Okay, can communicate. Sometimes goes against the grain. You'll have a look at the pictures of the trees in the background behind him. They're blowing one way, and he's like facing it, charging it the other way. So, yes, come on, I'll take you on. So a young upstart kind of energy, or some kind of research or study that you're hoping to happen. But it's also a card of being worried that perhaps someone might be investigating you and looking for some kind of truth or something that you don't really want them to know. Now, in your outcome position, you have the Four of Wands. This is a beautiful card. This is a card of longevity. It's a card of happy home, of stability. It's a card, look at the family in the background there, the couple celebrating between 11 and 11, very auspicious numbers in the tarot, and it seems as though they have everything. So if this is your outcome, it's a wonderful card of the happy home. It's also a card of doing things around the home. So perhaps, renovations, or even buying and selling property sometimes. Some of you might be moving, okay, and as a result of the energies around you. But generally, it's a wonderfully optimistic card where you're feeling that things are really moving your way. Okay, so there's your outcome. We also, in the tarot, we look at the bottom of the deck, which is like an underlying energy, okay? And you have here the King of Pentacles. So we know that the King of Pentacles is all about, the Pentacles are all about money and success, and this person is the King of money and success. Surrounded by pentacles in his abundance there, lots of green, which represents abundance in the tarot. And so you might be feeling very successful, very financially abundant in whatever you've done, or you've reached a certain milestone where you're quite comfortable there, and you're in a position now where you can be the king and perhaps direct others towards their material gains. Okay, so a very optimistic card. So if I was going to look at this whole spread, I would say that perhaps there's an element of moving away, and you might be researching something to move away to, or how are you going to move away. Now, that wasn't in the cards themselves totally. That's something which came to me intuitively, which is really what the tarot is all about. You'll find that the more involved you get with tarot, the intuition's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, and you'll start to astound people with the insight that you have, and it's just about trusting your hunches. Okay, so if you're involved in tarot, just trust yourself, and that trust will come out in what you say, and we are all connected, and the more you do it, the more you practice it, the more you're going to realise that. So I hope that's dispelled a few myths for you about tarot. It really is a wonderful tool for visual literacy, exercising your intuition, and hopefully connecting with the world around you, the spiritual world around you. If you'd like something a bit more specific to you, or you'd like to know more about tarot, please come and see me at the Tarot Temple, or get in touch through Facebook. I'll sort something out for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, CGG TV. I really hope to see you soon. Love wins.